So an aspect of this is always going to be change management. And one of those progressions goes from, rear view mirror business intelligence and reporting into predictive scenarios that can be validated and thus become more reliable with a high degree of confidence. Example, if you and I were making sports wagers, we'd be comfortable with a 70% confidence level. We do quite well. But if we're doing brain surgery, we're going to be at 99.999. That's what we need. And autonomous vehicles, as an example, you need such a high degree of confidence in it before you turn loose of the wheel and let the vehicle do it for you. So augmentation of the human behavior before we get to automation is always one of those bridges we have to cross. And we see this as well, that often the ideas are great, but if you got, as you said it, you got to bring the business with you. So you need to build up that adoption, that use case, in some cases, some sort of change management with early testers that are willing to go the distance and see the results they get. It's sort of like internal A versus B testing for people that use it and others that don't.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say that's how you drive adoption. The other two things I would say, that are really important for success are having a training program, right? I mean, we talk about data academies and building data academies within large organizations. I think that's important. So as people have access to the knowledge and they can actually have formal training to go alongside, and communication. And I see way too many people under spending on communication. There should be a budget for communication, internal communication, because without that, you're going to have real difficulty getting the message out in a consistent way. So I think we underestimate the need for internal communication in our organizations, and that supports what you were saying about that change management element. It's absolutely
that's great guidance from you for that. I want to close with one question that I like to ask people, because none of us, when we were little children, I don't know about you, but I know, so I certainly didn't grow up thinking, one day I want to be a chief data officer, right? I mean, so what, looking back now, what would you tell the younger version of Chris, based on what you know now about, your career growth, turns you made, things to learn? What would you tell yourself?
Well, one thing I think I would definitely tell myself is, hey, in March 2020, get yourself on a plane and get to a desert island with good Wi-Fi. That would probably be and you're going to be there for a year, so settle down, enjoy yourself, and you're going to be able to work remotely. That would probably be my first piece of advice, knowing what I know now. Because these COVID times have been incredibly challenging, I think, for everyone. In addition to that, I think I would give myself probably the same advice I probably gave myself back then, which is, look, always be yourself. Don't change too much and relax. It's going to be okay. It's genuinely going to be okay, because I think, particularly in this role is really challenging. And I think a lot of the time, we have so many diverse challenges in terms of how to spin this up and make it successful, that we don't take enough time to kind of relax and enjoy the ride. And I'd also say to myself, hey, you know what? If you get the chance, spend a little bit more time with your friends and family and loved ones. And it's not really about the CDO journey at all. It's actually about people and relationships. And I think the better we get at that, the better CDOs will be. Excellent. That's great advice. Well, Chris Bannix, former CDO at Danone, thanks for joining me today. Please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you for joining us.